What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a look at 3 new leaders coming from the One Piece trading card game. We got our very first reveals coming from OP-05, the very first cards that have been revealed. We got 3 new leaders. I'm excited, and quite frankly, you should be too. Although they have been revealed in a magazine, and for some reason, when these scans come out of Japan, they're so faded with color, I don't know what they're doing. You can just photograph them on your phone and they're so much clearer. I don't understand it. But the good news is I've had a go at the translation, and the people who shared these images, the lovely Nami Piece TCG, who I can confirm are lovely, have also done Spanish translations. So between my Japanese translations and their Spanish translations, I think we've got them. Ladies and gentlemen. So let's go and have a look, and let's start off with the one I think we were all kind of hoping for here, Enel. I mean, look, we heard that OP-05 was going to be based around Skypiea, right? So as soon as we found that out, we were like, oh, so Enel. And everybody has been pegging them as being the character that's going to get the manga rare. I don't know, honestly, if we're going to be getting the manga rare with Enel or not. What I can tell you is I am very excited about this leader, kind of. You see, we've got a monocolor, 5,000 power, 4 life yellow leader. And something about that should jump out to you straight away here, because monocolor leaders have 5 life. Or I suppose if Redwood Newgate, they have 6 life. But the point is, monocolor leaders don't have 4 life. That's not the way it works, ladies and gentlemen. That is not the way it works. I've gone over to onepiece-cardgame.dev. I've searched for all leaders that have 4 life. There's no monocolor leaders here. Every leader we've had up to now that's had 4 life has been a dual color leader. So this had better be gosh darn good. And it kind of is, ladies and gentlemen. It kind of is. On your opponent's turn, once per turn, when your life reaches 0, place the top card of your deck into your life, then discard a card from your hand. Now, it does say Sonogo, which is afterwards discard a card from your hand. I'm pretty sure what that means is if you have a 0 card hand, this skill will still activate. And the reason essentially is it is not discard a card from your hand to put a life or a card from the top of your deck onto your life. It is put the top card of your life onto your deck and then discard a card from your hand. I suppose if you had no cards left in your deck, you wouldn't be able to put a life out. So at that point, you wouldn't discard a card from your hand, but you would then lose at the start of your turn when you went to draw a card. So probably not terribly relevant. And I don't know how I feel about this leader, right? Because on the one hand, 4 life is terrible for a monocolor leader. On the other hand, the leader doesn't do anything until you get down to 0 life. Like, until you get to 0 life, this is a mono yellow leader. So there's kind of a strong argument that 4 life might be too much. Remember, there are a bazillion yellow cards out there that will essentially allow you to take your own life. I mean, just in starter deck 7, we've got Charlotte Snack. On X1, when attacking, you can add a card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand to give yourself banish and plus 1,000 power. Or Charlotte Mont d'Or, you may rest this character and add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand to KO up to one of your opponent's characters of a cost of 3 or less. Point is, yellow don't mind taking their own life cards, alright? So you can get down to 0 pretty quickly. But I'm not entirely sure that's kind of the point here. I don't think this is a leader where you're trying to get down to 0 life. I think this is a leader whereby you're actually trying to survive, but you've got that wonderful cushion. And this is going to be a super annoying leader. Because remember, you need to attack when your opponent has 0 life and get it through in order to actually win the game. So if you've got, 2 attacks, well, your opponent's going to let 1 go through. They go down to 0 life. Oh, wait, they get their life back. But then if they've got a blocker or something, they're going to activate it. So essentially, you've used 2 attacks and gotten nowhere. That's kind of the point of this leader. And it's weird, but I feel like someone's going to break this. Someone's going to make a deck where you just never lose. And that's going to be fun. Now, another one we've been waiting for is a Sabo leader. Of course, you know, one of the leading revolutionaries. I've got to the point where Sabo comes in now. I know who Sabo is. And, yeah, Sabo's kind of cool. Now, what we've got here is Dawn X1 during your opponent's turn, once per turn. So you got to kind of put a Dawn on there, and then you can use it once during your opponent's turn. When a character of yours with 5,000 power or more is KO'd, instead of being KO'd, it loses 1,000 power. That's really good. Now, again, like we saw with Enel, there are a bunch of downsides here. I should say it's a dual color yellow and black. You can see that this one is actually pretty obvious, but I should have said that. It's dual color yellow and black, 5,000 power, 4 life. There we go. Which is standard, incidentally. So, this is kind of cool. Because your opponent, if you've got a really good, powerful character out, we've all played this game enough now to know, your opponent is going to go after that character. They are going to be all like, oh, don't want to go down to that one. Boom! Blow it up. That's how the game works. The thing is, here, you've got kind of one do-over. You've got to have Dawn X1, you've got to have a Dawn on there, and then it's a case of, they try and take you out, you don't get KO'd, you go down by 1,000 power, but it's once per turn, right? So the next time they go after that same character, it's going to go down, and it's going to be slightly easier, I suppose, but this basically means that once you get some powerful characters out, your opponent is going to have a much, much, much more difficult time actually taking them out. Plus, of course, you've got yellow and black. Although, this is not the first dual color yellow and black leader that we've had so far, is what I would be saying if this was a yellow and black leader. It's actually not, it's red and black. The color wheel in the bottom left-hand corner of the card is covered. This looks yellow and black. It's not, incidentally. If we look at the magazine page as a whole, up here, it literally has the symbols, the kanji, for red and black. That's how we know for a fact it is definitely red and black. Just a minute ago, I said this was obviously yellow and black. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently it's not. Sorry about that. Doesn't really make a difference. What it does mean is that you do have a choice between this and Monkey the Garp, who is incidentally the only other black and red leader that we've seen so far. You know, in the game, you're basically choosing between the two of them. If you want to play red and black as a pair of colors, your choices are, you can go Monkey the Garp, and that is absolutely fine, or you can go for this, and then you can still make your red and black deck. Now, Monkey the Garp has actually got a skill whereby when this leader or any of your characters is given a Dawn card, give up to one of your opponent's characters of a cost of 7 or less, -1 cost for the turn. So basically, Monkey the Garp is good where you are specifically going for lowering cost and doing that thing that black decks do. Sabo is more for protecting your bigger characters. So they are quite different in the ways you would use them. I'm going to leave that one up to you. But I promised you 3 new leaders. I've only given you 2. How about Sakazuki? And I'm going to be honest with you, with the horrible, horrible colors on this scan, I can tell you it is a blue and black leader, because look at the color wheel. You can see, and I love that they put the color wheel onto these cards. I would be lost sometimes if we didn't have it. But you can see that the color wheel is clearly blue and black. Here's a Luffy that shows every color on the color wheel. You can see that it's blue and black. Happy? Good. So what we've got here is a blue and black Sakazuki, and being a standard dual color card means that we have got ourselves 5,000 power and 4 life, as we would expect. Now, what we've got here is once per turn, main, you can discard a card from your hand and draw a card, which is awesome. I should say it is discard, then draw, which is really important, because obviously if drawing first is better, because you can draw, and then it might be that the card you want the least is one you just drew. Here you have to discard to draw, which is a slightly worse way round. But it's not really drawing per se, it's cycling. You're not gaining a card advantage, you're ending up with the same amount you started with, you're just, you know, getting rid of a card and getting one to replace it. But we don't see this kind of every turn draw very often on leaders at all. We see search and stuff, but this is kind of cool. This is not a flashy skill, right? I'm not in any way, shape, or form implying this is a flashy skill, but I actually kind of like this. It seems cool, ladies and gentlemen. This seems very, very cool. being able to get an extra card every turn, plus you've got some discarding which can help. I mean, remember the Luffy from OP-04, the one that lets you restand it, but only if you put 7 cards from your discard pile of your trash back on the bottom of your deck. So you need to build up your discard pile in order to take advantage of cards like Luffy. Yeah, if you need to build up your discard pile, this is great. And just generally for drawing extra cards, this is great. I actually really like this. This is a very good skill. As weird as it might not be as flashy as some people were hoping for, this is a pretty cool kind of skill. But it's not all we've got. We've also got, when attacking, one of your opponent's characters gets -1 cost for the turn. Okay, I mean, it's a black leader, right? Black leaders generally tend to lower cost. That's what they do. So okay, fine. I mean, if you're lowering costs, there are other options, I think it's fair to say. So, Monkey to Garp, when you attach Don to this leader or your characters, reduce by 1 the cost of one of your opponent's cost 7 or lower characters during this turn. So that's kind of pretty good for that one, honestly. And then we've got Smoker. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -1 to their cost during this turn. And then if there's a character for cost of 0 in play, this leader gains 1,000 power. And then, of course, you've got the dual color Isho from OP-04, which just gives -1 cost to all of your opponent's characters, as well as being able to set one of your characters for cost of 5 or less as active. So there are some options. But here you've got the built-in draw, and remember, it's not just draw, it is also building up your trash, which we've seen is something that you're going to want to start doing in this game. I'm sure there's going to be reasons other than Luffy to do so. And yeah, I'm actually kind of loving this, honestly. As a quick little side note, I should let you know, there is another black and blue leader that does exist, but it might as well not. The only other black and blue leader we've got in the game at the moment is a Rebecca from OP-04, but that skill literally just lets you search for Dressrosa type cards. So if you're playing a Dressrosa deck, then yes, absolutely you could choose between them, but it seems to me Rebecca would be the obvious choice. And if you're not playing a Dressrosa deck, then Rebecca becomes like full-on terrible. So you should definitely go for this. So yeah, I suppose technically there is a choice, but there isn't really a choice here. I'm liking all of these leaders. I think all of these leaders kind of have something to offer here. But none of them seem... And I'm probably going to get flamed for this in the comments, that's fine. I don't think any of them seem phenomenal. I think my initial reaction is that Enel, someone is going to make a broken deck with Enel. Because just the idea that you can kind of essentially get free recovery every turn with your leader, plus whatever recovery you can get, plus countering to stop attacks and blocking, etc. as well, could be really good. But as much as I'm not sure any of these are kind of full-on flat-out broken, I'm also pretty sure none of them are terrible. I think all of these have a bunch of potential, and I am delighted. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.